Okay, imagine this. Picture a future, right? It's hanging by the thinnest thread, and the very fabric, the whole tapestry of human history. It's unraveling.
Yeah.
Not by chance, no, but because of this sinister alien race.
The TimeSplitters.
Exactly, the TimeSplitters. Their cruelty. It seems to know no bounds. And their goal isn't just conquest, like taking over territory. It's way more insidious.
Yeah, it's calculated erasure. They're trying to wipe out everything humanity ever was or is or even could be. It's chilling.
Totally chilling. Now,
Right.
put yourself in the shoes of humanity's last hope, a lone hero. And your mission, it feels impossible. You're not just fighting aliens in the present, you're literally jumping across centuries.
Millennia, even.
Yeah, millennia. Taking over different bodies, different people, trying to fix what's broken in the past. One crazy shootout, one hidden secret at a time.
That really sets the stage.
Welcome everyone to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging headfirst into the absolutely captivating, chaotic, and honestly, surprisingly enduring legacy of TimeSplitters 2.
A true classic.
It burst onto the scene back in 2002. And this wasn't just another first-person shooter, was it?
Oh, definitely not. It was crafted by a team with, well, a legendary pedigree.
Yeah.
People who knew shooters inside and out.
And it pretty quickly became this huge cult classic.
Yeah.
People loved it for that unique mix of like frantic fun, ridiculously deep customization, and this epic story with stakes that were just astronomically high.
Existential, really. You felt the weight of history on your shoulders.
You really did. So our mission today, we're going to unpack how TimeSplitters 2 managed to create such an intense feeling of urgency, but also this sense of wonder. We'll look at the innovative time travel plot.
The body hopping mechanic, which was brilliant.
Totally. It's groundbreaking approach to multiplayer, especially for consoles back then. And maybe the craziest part, these unbelievable, almost mythical hidden secrets that are still turning up decades later.
Yeah, that story is amazing. We'll definitely get into that.
So get ready. This isn't just a deep dive, it's a journey that's going to span centuries.
That's a perfect way to frame it, because the game really did transcend its genre. That whole idea of, fixing the past to save the future. It instantly gives the player this huge sense of responsibility.
Right. It's not just about racking up points or beating a level.
No, it's about the fabric of existence itself. It's heavy stuff, but presented in such a fun, action-packed way.
Which brings us to the setup. Let's really set the scene because, like you said, it's desperate. We're talking the year 2401. Humanity. We're locked in this brutal war against the TimeSplitters.
Yeah.
And frankly, we're losing badly.
And these aren't just generic aliens. They're described as sadistic. Their goal isn't just winning, it's the complete annihilation of humanity, from the very beginning to the far future.
The sheer scale of that threat, the ambition, it just immediately builds this almost suffocating tension, doesn't it? You feel cornered from the start.
Absolutely. And what makes their threat really insidious, what really raises the stakes beyond a normal war, is their weapon. The time crystals.
Ah, yes, the MacGuffin to end all MacGuffins.
Yeah, pretty much. But they're more than that. They are literally the keys to time. They hold this immense power, specifically the energy needed for time travel. And the TimeSplitters' plan for them is terrifying.
They're not just trying to win the war in 2401.
No, they're trying to strategically alter the entire course of human history. Think about that. They're going back, messing with key moments, aiming to bring Earth to utter ruin by changing everything that led to humanity's rise.
So they're dismantling our past to destroy our future.
Exactly. It immediately throws the whole story into this unimaginable existential crisis. You're not just fighting for survival, you're fighting to prevent our very existence from being, well, unwritten, undone, piece by agonizing piece.
It's mind-boggling. You're not just saving yourself or your buddies. You're saving everyone who ever lived or ever will live. Every scientist, every artist, every moment of joy or discovery, all threatened with just blinking out of existence.
It's incredibly high stakes. And against this cosmic dread, humanity's last hope rests on two, well, pretty unlikely heroes, Sergeant Cortez and Corporal Hart.
Yeah, they're not superheroes, just two space marines. But in this future, they're all we've got.
Their initial mission is desperate. Infiltrate a space station completely overrun by TimeSplitters. A suicide mission, basically.
To get those time crystals back before the aliens can, start rewriting history for good.
But the story hinges on this pivotal, really heartbreaking moment right at the start. Cortez and Hart manage to fight their way in. The tension is sky high.
We think they might just make it.
But they arrive just as the TimeSplitters pull the crystals out, and then the aliens scatter them, just fling them through a time portal into different points in human history.
Oh man, that's brutal. just when you think you've got a chance.
And then comes the sacrifice. Corporal Hart makes this incredibly brave, harrowing decision. She stays behind, seals herself in the portal control room to operate the device, knowing she might be trapped forever.
Wow, so she makes sure Cortez can go after the crystals.
Exactly. She enables his solitary, time-hopping quest across centuries. It's a really poignant moment that immediately underlines the desperation and the immense personal cost.
That sacrifice just elevates everything and makes it personal. And Cortez's mission, this is where it gets really interesting, right? Because he's not just Cortez running around in different historical outfits.
No, and this is probably the game's most unique hook. It's a massive curiosity builder. In each time period he lands in, Cortez literally takes on the form of an individual dealing with their own problems.
Like Quantum Leap, the game even says so, right?
It explicitly makes that comparison. So you have Cortez, this tough future Marine, suddenly finding himself as, say, a female spy in Cold War Siberia in 1990.
Which is just wild to think about. How does that even work in gameplay? What's it like being someone else entirely?
It adds this fantastic layer. You're dealing with the main mission, find the crystal, but you're also sort of embroiled in the local context, using period-appropriate stuff, sometimes even having different physical abilities based on the host body. It keeps you constantly guessing.
So every time, jump feels genuinely fresh. New place, new face, new problems.
Precisely. And the scope of these jumps is just incredible. The game takes you on this grand tour of history and the future across 10 story levels. Each one is completely distinct.
The developers must have had a field day coming up with these settings.
Oh, absolutely. You kick things off investigating weird stuff at a Siberian dam in 1990, which is a very deliberate nod we need to talk about later.
Oh yeah, the GoldenEye connection.
Exactly. Then boom, you're in the Gothic shadows of Notre Dame in 1896. Totally different vibe, architecture, enemies.
Imagine the change from snowy Siberia to, like, ancient Paris gargoyles.
Or then finding yourself navigating a booby-trapped Aztec temple in 1920, fighting guardians in the jungle.
So cool.
And then maybe you're flung way into the future, 2312, smack bang in the middle of a massive robot war, giant mechs clashing, lasers flying everywhere.
The variety is just staggering. Visually, atmospherically. It never lets you get bored. You're always wondering, where next? Who next?
And that variety isn't just window dressing. It directly impacts gameplay. Different enemies, different weapons, native to that era or place, different tactical challenges based on the environment.
But underneath all the time travel coolness and body hopping, it's still a solid FPS at its core.
Absolutely. A very well-made one, but it always adds clever twists.
Let's talk weapons, because the arsenal is pretty wild too, isn't it? It's not just laser guns.
Not at all. You get everything. Historically accurate stuff like old revolvers, bolt-action rifles for the earlier periods, then futuristic rocket launchers, plasma guns, flamethrowers for the later levels.
And the brick. Can't forget the brick.
Never forget the brick. Sometimes simplest is best, or funniest. But the strategic depth comes from things like alternate fire modes.
Right, like launching a grenade from your rifle or setting off remote mines.
Exactly. Or dual wielding, grabbing 2 pistols, 2 SMGs. It just adds this layer of tactical choice and, let's be honest, pure chaotic fun to the firefights. You can really tailor your assault.
And it's not just run and gun, you have to manage resources too.
Yeah, very much so. You've got your health bar, your armor. They go down when you get shot, obviously. But you need to actively look for body armor pickups and first aid kits scattered around.
So you can't just Rambo your way through everything.
Not really, especially on higher difficulties. It encourages you to be aware of your surroundings, use cover, know when to push, and when to scavenge for supplies. It adds a nice tactical layer beyond just aiming.
And the objectives keep changing too. It's not just, go here, shoot that.
Not always. Levels start with certain goals, sure, but often new ones pop up mid-level. Suddenly you have to protect someone or disable something unexpected or deal with a new wave of enemies.
Keeps you on your toes. Keeps the story moving.
Definitely. It keeps the tension high and makes playthroughs less predictable. You can't just memorize the script, you have to react.
And the difficulty settings actually change things significantly.
Yeah, this was quite clever. It wasn't just about making enemies tougher, although they did get tougher. On normal or hard, secondary objectives, things you could maybe ignore on easy, become mandatory. Primary objectives.
So the levels actually get longer and more complex.
Exactly. The commitment goes way up. You really have to master the level layout, the enemy patterns, everything. It hugely rewarded replayability and skill development. You couldn't just scrape by on hard.
Okay, so you fight your way through the level, complete these dynamic objectives, maybe embody a Wild West gunslinger or a cybernetic soldier. What happens at the end of each level?
The climax. You finally recover the time crystal for that era, and then this shimmering time portal opens up your escape route.
Simple enough.
Never. The game loves to throw a final curveball. Just as the portal opens, bam! Fresh time splitters often teleport right in, sometimes in huge numbers, blocking your path.
So it's a mad dash to the exit while fighting off this last wave.
Precisely. It's this final, frantic surge of tension. You're racing against them, maybe low on health, desperate to reach that portal. It's a brilliant way to end each mission with a real adrenaline rush.
Leaves you breathless, ready for the next jump. That sounds awesome.
It really is. And amidst all this chaos, they hid these charming little Easter eggs.
You mentioned Snake earlier.
Yeah. In really secret spots, you could find these little cartridges, pick them up, and you could actually play classic arcade games like Snake on Cortez's wrist device, his temporal uplink.
The thing that usually shows your map and objectives.
That's the one. It's just this lovely, playful touch, a little reward for exploration, a moment of nostalgic fun amidst the time-bending chaos. Shows the developer's personality.
Little details like that make such a difference.
Yeah.
What about playing with friends? Was there co-op?
There was. You could play through the entire story mode with a friend in split screen, which was, fantastic fun.
Double the firepower.
Well, yes, but they balanced it smartly. When you played co-op, both players actually had lower health.
Oh, interesting. So you couldn't just rely on having two tanks running around.
Exactly. It genuinely encouraged teamwork, communication, watching each other's backs. You had to be more strategic rather than just causing twice the mayhem independently. It made co-op feel distinct.
That makes sense. So the story mode sounds incredible, deep, varied, but we haven't even gotten to the multiplayer yet.
The multiplayer. For many, many people, this was the main event. This is where TimeSplitters 2 achieved legendary status.
You said earlier, best split-screen multiplayer ever created.
That's what critics like GameSpot called it, and honestly, a whole generation of gamers would probably agree. This was the game for couch co-op and competition before online console gaming really took off.
The game you brought to your mate's house. The one that ruined friendships over bragging rights.
Absolutely. It created local legends. Picture it. 4 players crammed onto one TV, split-screen madness, shouting, laughing, intense rivalries unfolding right there in the living room.
The golden age of local multiplayer.
Truly. And if you had to set up multiple consoles and TVs, the PS2 and Xbox versions supported System Link for up to 16 players.
16. That's insane for that era on console.
It was. Though, important note, the GameCube version didn't have System Link. But even just 4-player split screen was chaotic brilliance. You'd respawn randomly with full health. Weapons and armor were scattered strategically. It was fast, frantic, and endlessly fun.
And the modes. You mentioned there were loads.
Oh yeah. You started with 4 solid ones. Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, Capture the Bag, their take on CTF and Bag Tag, which was basically keep away, hold the bag for points while everyone hunts you.
Classic stuff. But you said there were more.
12 more unlockable modes, bringing the total to 16. 16 different ways to play multiplayer. Stuff like Virus, Flame Tag, Zones. It was an absurd amount of content and replayability. You never ran out of ways to mess with your friends.
That's incredible value right there. And the customization went beyond just modes.
Oh, miles beyond. You could personalize almost everything. Choose exactly which weapons spawn in the map. Set score limits, time limits. Pick the background music for your match.
Even the music.
Yeah.
And the characters. A huge roster. From the story mode, heroes and villains, to completely bonkers options. Like, you could play as a dinosaur. Or an Elvis impersonator. Or a gingerbread man.
Seriously.
A dinosaur.
Yep. And they weren't just cosmetic skins. Each character had slightly different stats, speed, stamina, size. So there was even a layer of strategy in picking your ridiculous avatar.
That adds a whole other level of fun. What about playing against the computer? Were the bots any good?
Surprisingly good and highly customizable. You could add up to 10 AI bots to any match, set their difficulty from cannon fodder to deadly sharpshooters, assign them to teams, change their appearance.
So you could practice or fill out matches.
Exactly. But here's the cheeky part. The bots could do acrobatic moves that human players couldn't, like these quick rolls and flips to dodge shots.
No way. So the AI could cheat.
Kind of. It made them genuinely challenging opponents, even unpredictable. They weren't just moving targets. They felt dynamic, almost like they had their own personality. You'd curse them out when they dodged a perfect shot. That's hilarious and frustrating, I bet.
Right.
Okay, customization, bots, modes. But the map maker, that sounds revolutionary for a console game back then.
It truly was. Forget just tweaking settings. This let you build entire levels from scratch. You got this grid interface, and you could just drop in pre-made rooms, corridors, tiles.
Like building blocks for deathmatch arenas.
Pretty much. You could design your own Aztec temple maze, or a complex industrial facility, or a spooky Victorian mansion. Then you'd place the spawn points, the weapon locations, the objectives for modes like capture the bag.
So complete creative control.
Within limits. There was a memory bar, essentially a budget.
Yeah.
Each piece you placed used up memory, so you couldn't make something infinitely huge or complex. It forced some clever design choices.
Made you think like a level designer.
Exactly. And you could choose different themes, Victorian, industrial, alien, virtual, which changed the whole look and feel. Build your dream map, then immediately jump in and battle your friends on it. It was incredible.
Did you share these maps?
Only by saving them to a memory card and taking it to a friend's house. Remember memory cards.
Yeah.
But yeah, the freedom it offered players was just phenomenal for the time. One small caveat, custom story levels couldn't be played co-op, only the arcade multiplayer maps. Still amazing.
Wow. So story, multiplayer, map maker, anything else?
There was also the single-player challenge mode. This offered these really specific, often quirky scenarios.
Like what?
Things like collecting a certain number of bananas while monkeys chase you, or shooting only the heads off zombies with limited ammo, or glass smashing challenges against the clock.
Sounds like fun, bite-sized missions.
Exactly. And doing well, getting bronze, silver, or gold medals unlocked more characters for multiplayer, or even gameplay cheats, more replayability.
Cheats, like infinite ammo.
Things like that, yeah. Big heads, paintball mode, classic stuff. But then Free Radical's own website hinted at more. Unreleased cheats activated by secret controller inputs.
Oh, like the old Konami code.
Sort of. They even said their philosophy was keeping some things as impossible as possible, which just fueled the community's imagination. What other secrets were buried in there? It added this layer of mystery.
Always leave them wanting more, eh?
Seems like it. And speaking of things the community wanted, online play. That was the big criticism, right?
Yeah, you mentioned OPM called it criminal, that it wasn't included.
It was a fair point, especially as online console gaming was starting to emerge, albeit slowly. For a game so focused on multiplayer, not having built-in online was a big miss for many.
But the community stepped up.
They did. It's amazing, really. Dedicated fans figured out ways to play online using PCs, tunneling software, third-party network programs like Xlink Kai.
So they basically hacked together their own online multiplayer.
Pretty much. It shows how incredibly strong the game's appeal was. People loved it so much they overcame a major technical hurdle just to play it online with others. That's dedication.
That really speaks volumes. It wasn't just a game, it was a phenomenon people were passionate about.
Absolutely. And if you connect all this back, TimeSplitters 2 wasn't just great in isolation. It was a testament to what happens when a focused, super talented team builds on its own history.
A rare connection.
Exactly. Free Radical Design was formed in '99 by key guys from the GoldenEye 007 team at Rare, Steve Ellis, David Doak, Carl Hilton, Graham Norgate. Legends, basically.
So the people who practically invented the console FPS as we knew it then?
Pretty much. That pedigree set expectations sky high. People knew this new studio had the talent and the design philosophy to make something special. And they absolutely delivered, carrying that Rare DNA forward.
And they took their time doing it. You mentioned the opening level alone took ages.
Yeah, the whole game had a solid 23-month development cycle, which was decent back then. But the fact that reportedly half that time, almost a year, went into polishing just the first level, that's incredible dedication.
Why spend so long on just the opening?
It's all about first impressions, setting the tone, teaching the mechanics perfectly. They clearly wanted to nail that initial experience, make sure everything felt right from the moment you picked up the controller. It shows a real commitment to quality.
And that quality was built on that Rare foundation. The comparisons to GoldenEye and Perfect Dark were constant.
And totally justified. You could feel the lineage. The aiming system felt familiar and precise. The lack of a jump button, a classic Rare choice that shaped level design. Even the health bar placement felt reminiscent.
And the Siberian Dam opening level being a direct callback to GoldenEye start.
Absolutely deliberate. It was both an homage, a wink to the fans, and a statement. We're the guys who did that, and this is the spiritual successor. It immediately connected with players who loved those N64 classics.
So, legendary team, long development, built on classics.
Yeah.
Did the critics love it?
Oh, massively. The PS2 version got universal acclaim, a 90 on Metacritic. Xbox and GameCube versions scored 88, generally favorable. In a year with huge releases like Halo Still Fresh, Metroid Prime, Medal of Honor, Frontline, TimeSplitters 2 stood tall.
That's impressive company. What specifically did they praise?
The sheer amount of content, the polish, the multiplayer above all. GamePro called it everything the original game was and more. GameSpot made that best split-screen multiplayer ever declaration. IGN called it the best multiplayer FPS on the PS2.
High praise indeed.
Even official US PlayStation Magazine said it was easily one of the best first-person shooters out there on any system. They weren't just saying it was good, they were putting it at the very top of the genre.
But it wasn't perfect in everyone's eyes. You mentioned IGN had some story criticisms.
Right, balance is important. IGN felt it wasn't strongly story-driven, and they didn't connect much with the characters. Which is interesting given the unique body-hopping plot. Maybe that rapid switching hindered deep character connection for some.
Could be. And the lack of online play was the other big one.
That was the consistent drumbeat from critics like GameSpy and OPM. Calling it criminal really summed up the frustration. For a game so good at multiplayer, not having native online felt like a huge missed opportunity at the time.
Understandable. Did it win awards?
It did. GameSpot named it Best Shooter on GameCube, and it got nominated for Console First-Person Action Game of the Year at the Interactive Achievement Awards. So yeah, despite minor criticisms, it was recognized as a top-tier title.
It really sounds like it carved out its own unique space.
It absolutely did. It proved that brilliant mechanics, incredible creativity, and just sheer fun could overcome limitations and create something truly special and lasting.
And its legacy didn't stop at launch, did it? It had this fascinating afterlife.
Yeah, the story gets even stranger and cooler years down the line. Even the initial marketing had interesting wrinkles.
Like the different covers.
Exactly. 4 different covers in North America. And the taglines were really specific. GameCube's was heir apparent to GoldenEye, directly targeting that Nintendo heritage.
Smart. What about Xbox?
Xbox went bold. First Halo, now this. Directly positioning it against the biggest shooter on the platform, it shows the publisher, Eidos, really knew how to market it to different console audiences.
We had confidence in it.
Yeah.
And that confidence and the fan love led to talk of remakes.
For years, fans desperately wanted an HD version, especially with online play finally being standard. And key developers like David Doak and Steve Ellis openly talked about it. Ellis even suggested an HD re-release could be the catalyst to get TimeSplitters 4 funded.
Ah, the elusive TimeSplitters 4. So the hope was real.
The hope was very real. It felt like it could happen, which makes the next part of the story even more wild.
Okay, the hidden game legend. Let's get into it. This involves Homefront. The Revolution.
Yes, the 2016 game from Dambuster Studios. And Dambuster is basically the corporate successor to Free Radical, same studio, different name, many of the same people.
So the TimeSplitters creators were making Homefront.
Right, and players found an Easter egg inside Homefront, an arcade cabinet where you could play 2 levels from TimeSplitters 2. A cool nod, right?
Yeah, neat little secret for fans.
But then, in 2021, it got way, way cooler. A programmer at Dambuster, Matt Phillips, revealed something astonishing on Twitter.
What was it?
He said he hadn't just put 2 levels in that arcade cabinet, he'd hidden the entire TimeSplitters 2 game inside Homefront. The Revolution, running in native 4K resolution.
The whole game. In 4K, hidden inside another game.
The whole game. But here's the insane twist. He'd lost the unlock code. He literally tweeted something like, "I lost the notebook with the code on it."
You're kidding. He put a full 4K remaster of a beloved classic in his game as a secret, and then forgot how to access it.
That's the story. Imagine the reaction. A legendary lost secret buried inside another game, potentially inaccessible forever because of a lost code. It was unbelievable. It created this huge buzz.
I can only imagine the frantic searching that followed. Did they find it?
Well, Phillips put out the call, hoping someone might remember. And incredibly, shortly after his reveal, someone he had shared the code with years before came forward.
No way. Someone remembered the lost code.
Apparently so. They provided the complex button sequence. Players tried it on the virtual arcade cabinet in Homefront, and boom, it worked. The full 4K TimeSplitters 2 was playable.
That is one of the best Easter egg stories ever. From lost secret to community rediscovery. Incredible.
It truly cemented the game's almost mythical status, and it showed the enduring passion, both from the developers hiding it and the community finding it.
And the game itself is still accessible today, even outside of Homefront.
Very much so. Its relevance continues. The original Xbox version became backward compatible on Xbox One and Series XS in late 2021.
so people can play it easily on modern Xboxes.
Yep. And then just this year, 2024, it got re-released as a PS2 classic on the PlayStation Store for PS4 and PS5.
Oh, nice. With any enhancements.
Yeah, modern touches like trophy support, a rewind feature, which is handy for those tricky bits and faster loading times.
So it's not just lingering, it's actively being kept alive and presented to new audiences.
Exactly. These continued re-releases, almost a quarter of a century later, really signify that its quality isn't just nostalgia. It's a genuinely timeless, fun, brilliantly designed game that still holds up remarkably well.
Which brings us back to that big question. After all this time, all the history, the secrets, what is it about TimeSplitters 2 that gives it such enduring appeal? Why are developers still hiding it in games? Why are new players still discovering it?
I think it's a few key things hitting perfectly together. First, that foundational craftsmanship from the X-Rare team. The core shooting just feels right. It's solid, responsive, fun.
Fundamentals were strong.
Absolutely. Second, the sheer unbridled creativity, the time travel, the body hopping. It made the single-player campaign constantly surprising, always intriguing. It wasn't just another corridor shooter.
It had a unique personality.
Definitely. But maybe the biggest factor, the one that cemented its legacy, was that multiplayer suite combined with the map maker. In an era dominated by local play, it offered practically infinite replayability and creativity.
It empowered the players.
Massively. It let you create the fun. It fostered this incredible sense of community, not online, but right there on the couch. Shared laughter, shared rivalries, shared creations. That built powerful memories and a deep love for the game.
That makes perfect sense. It was more than just a product. It was an experience people shared and shaped themselves.
Exactly. And that level of engagement, that sense of ownership and fun, resonates across generations.
Well, that perfectly sums up why we're still talking about it today. And that brings our deep dive into TimeSplitters 2 full circle. We've covered a lot. From Sergeant Cortez's desperate mission hopping through time to that incredibly deep and fun gameplay that defined local multiplayer for so many, all the way to the absolutely wild story of its rediscovery as a hidden 4K gem.
TimeSplitters 2 really does stand as this fantastic reminder of what happens when developer passion meets creative design. It valued player experience and sheer fun, maybe even above just pushing technical boundaries, and that focus created something truly lasting.
A game made with love, clearly felt by the community that embraced it, and still feels relevant decades later.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So as we wrap up, here's a final thought for you, our listeners. In today's gaming world, so often focused on massive online worlds and hyperrealism, TimeSplitters 2 stands as this vibrant testament. A testament to the unique magic of crowding around one screen, the pure joy of messing around with powerful creative tools, and maybe just the developer's sheer love for making something fun. It makes you wonder, what other forgotten gems with their own hidden depths and surprising stories are out there, just waiting for us to start our own deep dive?